Hey guys, I'm cmasupra and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 multiplayer video. I am playing as the Germans, my opponent is playing as the Soviets, and we are playing on the map Crossing in the Woods. Now this video is going to be about the German Mobile Defense Doctrine, which is one of the two new doctrines that was added in the Elbe Day update, and in my personal opinion this doctrine is actually not that good. The way you're supposed to play it, it seems, is as a turtling player, and if you don't know what turtling is where you set up a defensive line somewhere on the map, your opponent attacks you, they fail with their attack, they retreat, and as they're retreating, you move forward a little bit, and then you keep repeating that process where they attack you, they fail, they retreat, and then you move forward a little bit. And as you keep moving forward and the opponent keeps failing in their attack, you'll eventually end up at their base because you kept moving forward so far, and then you've won the game because you are at their base and they're probably going to give up at that point, and you have all 3 victory points. That is what turtling is, and it seems like that's how you're supposed to play this doctrine, but I personally have not had much success with turtling with this doctrine, nor using any other strategy with this doctrine. It just doesn't seem like a very good doctrine in my personal opinion. So what you get with this doctrine is at 0 CPs, for 45 munitions, you have an ability that will give you, for 60 seconds, the ability to capture points faster. And it's actually a pretty good ability for 45 munitions, although it is kind of expensive at 45 munitions, and that means you won't be able to use it very well in the early game. I did mention in my Elbe Day update video that it was possible to use it in the early game, but I was completely wrong about that because I thought it was a passive ability and not an ability you had to buy for munitions. So that's at 0 CPs. At 2 CPs, you get the smoke ability on your vehicles. You just press the T key and smoke will appear all around your vehicle, and the accuracy of incoming shots on it will decrease. It's great for letting you run away from any big threats. At 3 CPs, you get Ostruppen Infantry, which, as you will see in this game, don't actually seem to be that good, but I'll go over that a little bit more later. At 6 CPs, you get a Puma, and this is the same Puma from Company of Heroes 1, except that it already has the upgunned 50mm cannon. It does not have the anti-infantry cannon that the Puma in Company of Heroes 1 came with, so it is more of an anti-light vehicle. At 8 CPs, you get a command tank. That's a Panzer IV command tank. That is nothing new to the game. There are other doctrines with the command tank as well. I don't end up using it in this game. I really haven't even used it much at all in this game since the game came out at all. So we won't be seeing that in this match, but I'm sure it has the potential to be useful if you can use it in the right situations. I don't personally know about them, so I'm not going to say much about it. I don't want to give you guys ideas that are probably bad, or maybe good, maybe bad, I don't know. But I don't want to give you guys potentially bad ideas, I suppose. So far on the map, as you can see, I've gone for the left side of the map, and I've been successful so far. I pushed back my opponent with his 1 conscript squad that was fighting my 2 grenadier squads. My opponent is capturing territory somewhere else on the map probably right now. I don't really know what he's doing, but he's probably doing that. In terms of units, I do have 2 Grenadier squads, a Pioneer squad that I started with, an MG42, and a Mortar. My opponent did attack me here, as you see, but my MG42 suppresses one of his squads, leaving one of his other squads here. Sadly, my left Grenadier squad is actually not shooting right now, and I didn't realize it, so my right Grenadier squad is the only one fighting the conscript squad, and they're about to take some serious losses because of it. Yeah, here's where I realized, oh, they're dying. I should move them. And so I successfully did move him. Time to retreat. Oh, that was a nice mortar hit. That was the first shell my mortar launched this game, and that was one of the best hits I've seen from a mortar in my life. That was pure luck, and that was awesome. Now, my opponent in this game was actually pretty decent. He wasn't that bad of a player. He knew how to flank MGs pretty well. And I realized this pretty early on in the game as well, so you can see me moving my MG42 somewhere else in the map. I am repositioning it, predicting where my opponent will come to try and flank my MG now that he knows where it is. And we'll have to see if the repositioning of the MG42 turns out well for me or not. You'll notice that I haven't actually done anything with this doctrine so far. I picked it at the beginning of the game, but I haven't actually done anything with it because the 0 CP ability is 45 munitions, and I don't even have 45 munitions right now. So it's pretty useless in the beginning of the game, which kind of makes it a useless utility in the beginning of the game. In fact, it makes it completely useless because you can't use it. But in the mid-game and late game, it can be useful if you are turtling correctly. And I finally have 45 munitions, 55 really. So I can use it now, but I'm not going to use it yet. I will use it later in this game. The MG42 can almost fire at that conscript squad. Let's move it up a little bit. There we go. Hello there, conscript squad. Rifle grenade. I could let the mortar do this job for me, but let's go ahead and spin the munitions. I don't need them too much, I don't think. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Rifle grenade missed, though, because the opponent moved, and it's time to retreat my grenadier squad. There we go. My opponent is capturing the leftmost field point, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Mortar's under attack. MG42 is firing at a conscript squad, so is a grenadier squad. How about the mortar? What do I need to do with the mortar? It is retreating, I can't save it yet. I do have a new MG42 out on the field, and I'm going to hopefully use this against the conscript squad that made my MG42 retreat. There is a flamethrower, not conscript squad, engineer squad. That needs to be dealt with the MG42. My first MG42 needs to move out of the way while the other MG42 shoots at the conscript squad and the engineer squad. I do have a grenadier squad over there as well. They're destroying the engineer squad. There we go. Engineer squad is retreating. Conscript squad is being pinned at point blank. Molotov goes out on my MG42. Grenadier squad gets in the way of the retreat path of that conscript squad. Can I kill the entire squad? I do kill the entire squad. I feel like I'm shoutcasting right now, even though I'm really not. This is my own game. But okay. So, that was a lot. Quite an intense battle, and I enjoyed that battle quite a bit, especially because I ended up winning the battle. A battle is always more fun when you win it, right? Predictive rifle grenade, I decided to cancel it because I thought he was going to go behind the sandbags, but he didn't do that. He is going to throw a Molotov here, as you can see. That first guy is doing the animation. He cancelled it. And let's see how this goes. Can I get an MG42 to fire at the conscript squad? I don't even need it to do that. Excellent. He retreats. He's down to 2 men, down to 1 man. Can I kill the entire squad? No, I do not. So while all that fighting was going on, I did manage to build myself a tier 2 building, and I actually have plenty of manpower and fuel to buy something from tier 2, but I'm not buying anything yet because I'm busy reinforcing my units and placing them in places and trying to do this turtle correctly. I'm trying to turtle against my opponent. That's how you're supposed to play the doctrine, so I'm trying to do it properly. I bought myself a half-track with the intent of using it as a reinforced place and as a potential flamethrower, although I'm not entirely sure if I want to use it as a flamethrower quite yet, because my opponent might have a T-grenade sometime soon, or even possibly a T-70, because he has had the right field the entire game, and I have not had the left field the entire game. At least as far as I know, he's had the right field the entire game. I assume he has. There's no reason for him not to have gotten it, but maybe he didn't. But it's best to assume that he did. MG42 versus conscript squad. Go MG42. Yeah. Suppress them. There you go. Conscript squad incoming. MG42 on the left takes care of them, although they are almost within Molotov range. My mortar is firing on them. I believe. My mortar's firing on something. I believe it's that conscript squad. Maybe not. Maybe my mortar's firing at something else, I don't know, but my mortar's firing at something. My opponent does have an AT grenade shelling where my MG42 was before, so he just spent 60 munitions on an ability that did nothing for him, except reveal the fact that he has an AT gun, so I need to be wary of that. I'm not going to be so reckless with my half-track now, because I was actually planning to be kinda reckless with it, to be perfectly honest. Looking good so far in terms of infantry. I don't think I've lost any squads this game so far, but my opponent has lost at least one, I know. I do have a Pioneer squad off on the right side capturing points, and I have activated the fast capture ability, as you can see next to the 3 command points. You see there's 46 seconds remaining. So the fast capture ability makes it so that you capture points faster, and this applies to any infantry or anything capturing points probably. And it makes them capture points quite a bit faster, actually. It helped me capture the rightmost field point, it helped me capture the VP, it's going to help me capture the munitions point off on the right side, the right middle area. I don't know how to describe it properly. I'm sure you know what I mean. Molotov incoming, retreat. I used a rifle grenade on this conscript squad, it didn't work. Oh, don't lose this grenadier squad. Do not lose the grenadier squad. Oh good, they survived. MG42 is over here, firing. Oh, this could possibly hurt, except it missed. Good. I think he's firing too far behind my MG42 there, so I'm feeling safe leaving my MG42 there, hoping that it doesn't get hit by one of those shells. If it does get hit, my opponent will have access to an MG42, but it's not the end of the world because they do have a mortar, and he does not have a mortar. I do end up needing to retreat my MG42 though. It was down to 2 men, so there is that. So this is... So far you've seen me doing quite a bit of turtling. I've slowly been pushing up on my opponent as he attacks me. He's been failing, and then I've been pushing up as you have seen. The pushing has mostly been on the left side. I've mostly been attacking on the right side. I haven't been doing much defending because I didn't have anything to defend on the right side. But I've been attacking the right side and defending the left side and kind of turtling on the left side. So what I'm trying to say is I'm doing a mix of defending and attacking, and it's kind of working out for me this game. I'm turtling on the left side and attacking on the right side. My opponent does have the fuel point on the right side back, though. Oh, this half-track is too close. I did not mean to send it this close to the conscript squad. I got kinda lucky in the fact that they don't have AT grenades right now. If they had AT grenades, I might have lost my half-track. I am building Tier 3, by the way. I'm building it for vehicles, really. Because I'm expecting my opponent to have a T-34 or T-70 or even possibly an Su-85 sometime soon, and so vehicles would be good to get. More so than a PaK AT gun from Tier 2, even though I already have Tier 2 unlocked. The Puma is also a vehicle that I can use against I can use it against light vehicles and even tanks, but it is, what is that, 1 3/4 CPs away, so it's quite a ways away and it's not worth waiting for. I might as well just build Tier 3. And I actually kind of failed there. I didn't finish building Tier 3. Apparently my shift key failed me. I was trying to tell the Pioneers, build Tier 3 and then go wherever I sent them. I don't even know where I sent them. But it seems that my shift key was not held down when I told them to go wherever I sent them, and so they didn't finish building Tier 3 before moving. And so I'm building another Pioneer squad to finish the job. Might as well have the other Pioneer squad continue doing whatever it's doing. If I'm going to get vehicles, I need 2 Pioneer squads anyways to be reasonable, and so no harm in building a second one. My Tier 3 is just delayed as a result of my misclick, I suppose you can call it. Even though it's more of my keyboard failing. So now we see a T-34 from my opponent, and this is quite a bit of an issue for me. I don't have any AT so far. I only have anti-infantry, and I even have an LMG-42 on one of my Grenadier squads, and Flamethrower on one of my Engineer squads, no, Pioneer squads. But I don't have any form of real AT, so I'm building myself a PaK AT gun. I can't afford anything from Tier 3 yet, so it's not much of an option to do that. My opponent's T-34 is actually not doing too well against my infantry, though, which is great for me. Don't you wish you could roast the tank? Roast the crew compartment of a tank with the flamethrower, or roast the engine with the flamethrower? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Make my flamethrower useful against tanks and make tanks less dominant in this game. I just came up with a great idea for this game, considering how dominant tanks are. They need to be less dominant. Oh, don't lose this Grenadier squad. Don't lose it. It has an LMG-42. Good, they survived. My opponent's AT gun is shelling my Pioneer squad, but he's missing. That's once again 60 munitions just wasted because he can't actually hit me. He's firing too far behind. My Pioneer squad is surviving from this T-34 pretty well so far. And then they get one-shotted. Oh, this game and its randomness. I could be wrong, but from my experience playing in this patch so far, it seems like the T-34 is not as good against infantry as it once used to be. I'll have to reread the patch notes. I don't remember, but it might not be as good as it used to be against infantry. Lots of fighting going on. I am fighting long range off on the right side, use a rifle grenade. I'm trying to kill off that engineer squad. PaK is on the field. Let's get it going at this T-34. Hopefully kill the T-34. Engineer squad is retreating. Let's take the rightmost fuel point, deny my opponent the fuel. Tier 3 is done building, and I am building the Stug. I've been building a Stug for quite a while. Stug is out on the field. Stug will be a great counter to the T-34. I would have preferred a Panzer IV because it has a turret, but a Stug will be good enough, and the Stug is actually a pretty decent tank now, unlike what it was when the game first came out. It was such a terrible little tank, or big tank, or whatever, medium tank, assault gun, whatever you want to call it. But it's a pretty good tank now. My mortar is going to work, forcing the enemy to retreat. Same with the MG42. I do have the leftmost field point. I am capturing the rightmost field point. I almost have it. I consider using the capture faster ability, but I decide against it. I don't really need it. I'm only capturing 1 point. It's really worth using if you're capturing multiple points with multiple squads of infantry, rather than just 1 point with 1 infantry unit. It's not worth the 45 munitions to capture however much faster. I think it's like 50% faster. I haven't actually seen the number or anything, but it feels like it's about 50% faster. So it's just it's a pure guess, but it's not worth the 45 munitions if you're only capturing with 1 squad on 1 point. So now here you can see me considering a Puma. It costs 270 manpower and 80 fuel. What was that? I don't remember. But it's more than the Stug cost. The fuel cost is the same, but it costs 40 more manpower. Yeah, 270 manpower and 80 fuel, while the Stug costs 230 manpower and 80 fuel. So I'm really questioning, why on earth would I buy a Puma here? I did use the Puma in a game that I played before this one, using this doctrine, and it really didn't seem that good. It really didn't, so I'm not really seeing the point in the Puma. I better not lose this Grenadier squad. Don't die, Grenadier squad. Good, they survived. I get to keep my LMG-42 and use the Panzerfaust on the T-34 because he got too close. Ta-da! Now to kill the conscript squad. So as I was saying, I was considering the Puma, but it's not really worth getting because it costs 40 more manpower than the Stug. It doesn't really have any advantages. The gun is worse than the Stug's gun. The advantages it has, I suppose, are it has a turret, and it has more mobility, it moves faster, but it's not really worth the 40 manpower extra against a T-34. Maybe against a T-70 it'd be a better unit, because a T-70 can circle strafe a Stug if it's not supported, if you don't have like grenadiers to damage the engine of the T-70. If I said T-34, I meant T-70, circle strafing a Stug. In that case, a Puma would be better, because the Puma has a turret and it is more mobile, so it can handle a T-70 better. But in my personal opinion, it seems like the Stug is a better buy if your opponent has tanks, rather than the Puma. So now we can see that I have bought some Ostruppen infantry, and these guys, like I said at the beginning of this video, do seem to rather suck. They really seem to suck. They cost 500 manpower, and you get 2 Ostruppen squads, and they will come with random upgrades and random veterancy. The game before this I played with this doctrine, I got a Vet 0, completely unupgraded Ostruppen infantry squad, and then a Vet 3 Ostruppen squad. This game I got an LMG-42 Vet 2 Ostruppen squad and a regular Vet 2 Ostruppen squad. So it was a pretty good deal, especially with the LMG-42. But as you can see, they're really not doing that well against the engineers that were there at close range. But that wasn't really a fair fight either. The opponent had more things there and he was in close range. And so they didn't have much of a chance to begin with, but they really didn't even do much damage at all to the opponent. We'll have to see how they do later on in this game. I do end up using the Ostruppen again later on in this game, and you can see just how good or bad they are. Which means that you can see how bad they are, really. I am winning this game so far, though. 162 VPs left for my opponent, 467 for me, and I have 2 of the 3 VPs, although my opponent is capturing the left and the right one, leaving me with just 1 VP. T-34 is over there. I remain the pack with my Pioneer squad. That T-34 is getting quite damaged. My Stug is going to work against the conscript squad here, and I have 3 grenadier squads behind the Stug, helping the Stug out. I also have the MG-42 upgrade on the Stug, and so the Stug is going to be pretty good against infantry. My pack is getting shelled by my opponent's AT gun. I move it backwards, but then I realize, oh no, there's enemy infantry over there. Alright, let's move through the barrage, as stupid as that is most of the time. And I get lucky and survive. Maybe my opponent's barrage was already over by the time I started moving, I don't know. LMG-42 Grenadiers, I sure hope you can take care of this Grenadier squad. I have so many things taking care of it right now. Hopefully they can kill it off. Oh yeah, they're gonna die. They don't have a chance. I'm moving my LMG-42 Grenadiers in the way of my opponent's retreat path, so if he does retreat, he's still gonna get hit by the LMG-42s. Oh, that hurt. I don't know what I lost there. I lost an MG-42, I lost a Pioneer Squad, maybe some other things as well. I at least lost those 2 units. That really hurt. That hurt so badly. So now I know my opponent has some serious artillery. I don't know what he has. I've never used artillery as the Germans or the Russians, but he has some sort of serious artillery. So now here you can see me sending out the Ostruppen squads from my base once again once they're reinforced, and you saw me splitting them up and then I suddenly decided to send them together. That is because I realized that if they split them up, they're probably not going to survive even if they are Vet 2 and one has an LMG-42. They're probably still not going to do well enough against my opponent's conscripts, and so they're not going to be they're not going to work if they're alone. I need to keep the 2 squads together for them to actually be very effective. And so I did keep them together, sorta kinda, sending them to the same area. Oh, that MG-42 is dead. That's wonderful. My mistake. My serious mistake. This Ostruppen squad is Vet 2 at long range and yellow cover versus a conscript squad that is in no cover and capturing a point. And they are not exactly winning. They are actually doing pretty badly right now. That shows you just how bad the Ostruppen infantry are, and they're really not worth using because of that. Ooh, look at that. T-34 is dead. Try to use the Panzerfaust on this other T-34. Oh, he turns around. I don't think that was intentional. I think my opponent misclicked there. He gets a Panzerfaust into him. The Stug is damaging the T-34 still, but an AT gun shows up. I have to back up my Stug before the AT gun kills it. My Grenadier squad is still over there doing quite a bit of damage, but my opponent has lots of infantry over there to hit me and a T-34 as well, so I have to retreat. That's a Vet 2 Grenadier squad with an LMG-42. Do they survive? They do survive, just barely. So as I was saying, the Ostruppen infantry don't really seem to be very good. The cost is 500 manpower, and for reference, a Grenadier squad costs 240 manpower, and so because of the 500 manpower cost for the 2 squads, they're 250 manpower each, so it's 10 more manpower per squad than a Grenadier squad, but they seem to be so much worse than Grenadiers, even when they have Vet 2, as you saw. A Grenadier squad at long range against a conscript squad, when the Grenadier squad is in yellow cover and the conscript squad's in no cover, the Grenadier squad definitely would have won that fight, but as you saw, my Ostruppen infantry did not win that fight, even with Vet 2. And so that goes to show you just how bad Ostruppen infantry actually are. And so they really don't seem to be worth it, in my opinion. One of you guys, in fact, even told me that they weren't worth it. I forget who it was. I can look it up while I'm watching this video, because I'm cool like that. But yeah, Ostruppen infantry just don't seem to be really worth it. And the person who told me that they are a trap or really not worth it is Ken Westrom. There you go. You get a shout out. So, second Stug is on the field, and this was to take care of my opponent's T-34s. My opponent had multiple T-34s. He's barraging my AT gun and MG-42s and all, and so I figured a second Stug would be worth getting. So I do buy one. I also have a Puma out on the field that I bought in desperation when my opponent had some T-34s rushing me. I only had one Stug at the time. I believe he had killed my pack as well, and so I figured I need more AT, I need something fast, and that's where a Puma can be useful, because you don't have to wait for it to build. You can just simply click on it, click somewhere on the map, and then suddenly it will be there, and that is great. I'm sure there's an artillery barrage coming in from my opponent sometime soon here. There has to be. I have so many things close together. The pack and the 2 Stugs and the Puma are all really close to each other. My opponent is using the recon plane, and here comes the barrage. I lose one Stug. The other one becomes seriously damaged and barely survives that. The pack survives though, and I believe he only killed the Stug with that shot, but that was a pretty good shot. Killing a Stug is pretty costly for me, even if I do have a bunch of fuel and manpower saved up right now. Ooh, Panzerfaust. He wants to get that close, he can get that close all he wants. I'll throw a Panzerfaust in his ass. There's another T-34 somewhere in the middle of the map here that you just saw. I'm repairing my Panzer, not my Panzer. I mean, I guess it is a Panzer, it's a tank, but my Stug as fast as I possibly can. This Ostruppen squad is trying to fight this Conscript squad. The Conscript squad is Vet 3, but the Ostruppen squad is Vet 2 with an LMG-42. And my opponent goes to long range. I'm pretty sure he is not aware of the update to LMG-42s, where they are now better at long range than close range. And they are far better at long range than they used to be. Oh, that hurt. So I'm pretty sure that he didn't know what he was doing, and so he's actually losing this fight now because he went into long range. This Grenadier squad needs to retreat, as they do. My Puma is shooting at this T-34, and so is my Stug. Oh boy. Kill the T-34. Or don't. My Puma is almost dead. Puma does not stand much of a chance against a T-34. As you can see, it's not worth buying against tanks. It may be worth buying if your opponent only has light vehicles. But really, by the time your opponent gets light vehicles, or rather, by the time you get a Puma, you'll be able to afford the Stug, probably, and so the Stug still seems like a better buy. That's just my opinion. Yeah, let's back up the Puma. Needs to be repaired. Oh, I just lost an LMG-42 Grenadier squad. Uh-oh. T-34 behind me. It was shooting at the Puma, but it stopped. Now it's shooting at the Puma again. Go Stugs, and they do their job, and so does the Puma. Between the Puma and the one Stug, because the other one had its back facing that T-34, they managed to kill the T-34, and then this Stug kills that T-34, gets itself Vet 2, and my opponent says GG, because I have successfully turtled him to death this game. He kept attacking me, he kept failing, I moved forward every time he attacked, and he lost. So, even though I said that this doctrine isn't very good, I did manage to actually use it kind of effectively this game. I didn't use very many abilities from it. I think I used most of them. I'll see when I go to view battlefield here. I used the Capture Faster ability. I did not use the Smoke. I used Ostruppen. I used the Puma. I did not use the Command Tank. So I used 3 out of the 5 abilities. The 2 abilities I did not use were the Smoke ability, because I was never retreating any of my tanks or vehicles. And I never bought the Command Tank because it didn't really seem necessary, and my tanks were already doing so well against my opponent's stuff, and I had so many of them, it seemed like it would have been a waste to buy a Command Tank. So I never really bought it. So, yeah, that game went pretty well for me. I did play this doctrine as it's supposed to be played, I think. Like I said earlier in this game, I was turtling on the left side while attacking the right side, trying to get that rightmost fuel, preventing my opponent from getting vehicles, because vehicles do win in Company of Heroes 2, unlike in Company of Heroes 1. I did get Vet 3 in one of my Ostruppen squads, the one with the LMG-42. It got 8 kills, but those 8 kills were really hard for it to get, because Ostruppen do seem to be pretty bad. So that ability is not very good. As for the fast capture ability, it seems like it's good if you have multiple squads capturing points. I used it once this game when I had 3 squads capturing 3 points, and it did quite help that time. The Puma ability does not seem to be useful unless your opponent has a bunch of light vehicles and you don't want to waste the munitions on Panzerfaust or Panzerschreck, so you can just buy a Puma. Puma is also good in an emergency if you need to do something like kill an opponent T-34, like I was using it for when I had 2 T-34s rushing me and I only had 1 Stug and Panzerfaust on my AT, or for my AT rather. So the Puma can be used for that, and it can be used against light vehicles, but otherwise it seems like the Stug is a better buy if you don't need the turret and you don't need the extra mobility. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it and found it helpful, and you have learned a lot about this doctrine, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.